It's 3 a.m. Do not ask any questions. Do not ask me why I did this. Let's just get into it. You need some black cotton fabric. You need some blue cotton fabric, black and blue thread, some pins, elastic, velcro, gold buttons, 6 of them, a seam ripper, and fabric scissors or any sharp scissors you have, a piece of chalk, and a needle. On your black fabric, you're going to fold it in half and you're going to put the jacket front, the pants, the sleeve, the waistband, and the back of the jacket. Put the back of the jacket on a fold so that we can get a nice symmetrical cut whenever we trace it out. Use your chalk to trace out each piece. Let's also have something to weight it down so we can get a nice good trace. And then just go ahead and take your scissors and start cutting your piece out. For the jacket pieces that aren't the sleeves, I'm just going to cut into a rectangle so I can get it all there so that it doesn't come out all wonky, and then just cut the small pieces off after the rectangle comes out. It's important to cut on the fold so we can get a nice symmetrical piece just like that. And then do the same thing over here. Now with the pants pieces, it's very important that you do not take these off and like when you cut them. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but these pieces, although they look a lot alike, they're very different. The back of the pants is a little bit wider, it's got a bit more of a curve, whereas the front of the pants is more like a straight line and it's not as wide. When you put the two together, they look a little bit different. If this is your first time making pants, it can be a little confusing to tell which is the front and which is the back. So before you cut out the pants pieces, go ahead and put the pattern back on the fabric and then take your chalk and then line each, well not line, label, sorry it's 3 a.m., label each piece accordingly with B or F so you know which one's front and which one's back. And you can go ahead and cut them all out. Go ahead and do this with your blue fabric as well for the shirt. Make sure to place the back of it on a fold so you can get that nice symmetrical cut. And then also have the front. You're going to cut 2 pieces of the front of the shirt, and then you're going to have the sleeve as well. And on here I'm drawing out my collar because I forgot to cut out a piece. Don't worry, you guys have one, I didn't. My pattern's different because I messed up. And then here you're just going to take a wipe or a damp cloth and just lightly rub off the chalk that's on the fabric. Go ahead and do this to every piece, but do not wash off the labels on your pant pieces. Here with the front of the shirt, we're just going to go ahead and fold it in twice here so you can get a nice clean edge so that the fabric doesn't fray. This is cotton and it is a woven fabric, so it does tend to fray a little bit. If you just fold it in once, it's going to fray everywhere and we don't want that to happen. Go ahead and do that to the 2 front pieces, and then go ahead and pin the front and the back pieces together right on the sides. And go ahead and pin the shoulder pieces as well. So now we have an idea of what the shirt is going to be. Go ahead and thread your needle with the blue thread. Go ahead and get a generous amount of thread in there. Put it through the needle and just pull until you think you have about enough thread. Then we're going to go ahead and get the ends and tie them together in a knot. Go ahead and tie about a couple more knots. I usually do about 3 to 4, just enough to where it feels like it's big enough that's not going to seep through the fabric, but it's going to give like a nice fold to it. And now it's time to stitch. Always make sure that you're starting from the inside of the garment so that the knot isn't visible to the outside. And then you're just going to go ahead and alternate stitches from inside to outside here. Whenever you do this, try not to make the stitches too big or too far apart. If you do that, the garment will fall apart whenever we're trying to put it on, and we're not trying to have that happen. So try to get them as close as possible to one another. Once you get to your second to last stitch towards the end, go ahead and wrap the thread around your finger. Make your inside to outside stitch right there. Keep the thread right there around your finger. And then once you make your outside back into inside stitch, go ahead and actually pull your needle through the loop that we just had right there. This is to give us a nice secure knot towards the end. It's a little bit hard to see here. I promise I was trying my best to get it in frame here. But go ahead and wrap that loop around your needle about 4 to 5 times, sometimes 6 if I really want it to be secure. Just wrap it around until you feel like, okay, that's enough knot. Once you feel like you've gotten enough knots out of that, go ahead and pull the thread all the way through. You might have to pull a little bit hard, just because it's a lot of knots, but pull all the way through, and then it should give you a nice, secure ending knot to your stitch. Cut off the excess thread, and that is how your seam should look. Go ahead and repeat this to the other parts of the shirt. This is what your shirt face should look like right now. And as for the sleeves, go ahead and do the same thing that we did for the front of the shirts. Roll it in a little bit and go ahead and sew this down. We're doing this right now because the sleeves are too small for us to actually hem once they're put together on the shirt. So doing this right now is just going to save us a lot of time. It's also going to make the shirt look a lot cleaner. Here, once you get your sleeve all done, go ahead and get your shirt base and get your two seams, the side seam and the shoulder seam, to line up. That way you have a better guide to put the sleeve on. Go ahead and line the sleeve up in the middle and get your needle and start sewing right there. You keep stitching all the way until you get to the first side of the sleeve. Once you do that, go ahead and get the other side of the sleeve and tuck it into the other side over there. Once you get that side tucked in, go ahead and line up the two sides of the sleeve, pick up your needle and sew those two pieces together. Don't worry about trying to get the sleeve actually attached to the shirt. Right now we're just trying to get those 2 points from the sleeves to match up. Once those two are matched up, you can then attach the sleeve to the actual shirt. And just keep going up until you finish the stitch. Once the sleeve is attached to the shoulder, go ahead and turn it upside down and start stitching that undersleeve right there. Go ahead and get a pair of tweezers or anything you have lying around that can help you go ahead and turn this inside out. And do this part very delicately because we don't want to rip any seams or anything that we just did right now. And this is what your shirt should look like right now. Now as for the collar, go ahead and do the same thing we did with the sleeves. Roll it in, fold it in as tightly as you can, roll it in 2 times. Go ahead and pin as many times as you need. And then go ahead and sew that side down. Once that's done, go ahead and get the sides and fold the sides in just once, and then take the excess and fold the excess over the sides that we just folded. Take your needle and sew that down as well. Afterwards, your collar should look like this. We're going to go ahead and take the collar and we're going to attach the outside of the collar to the inside of the shirt. That way whenever the collar is folded over, the outside of the collar is showing. It'll make sense in a bit. Just trust me, just trust the process. Afterwards, your collar should look like this. Go ahead and fold the collar over, and to prevent the collar from popping up, we're going to go ahead and stitch it down along that fold. Layer out your Velcro, and then go ahead and take it and cut it right down the middle. The Velcro as is too wide for the shirt, so we're just going to cut it down the middle so it can be a more proper size. We're also going to have 4 pieces of Velcro here and save the other 2 for the jacket. Go ahead and put the rough side of the Velcro onto the left side of the jacket. Go ahead and put it on facing out. This is so that way whenever we put the other side that's going to be in on the inside, the 2 will go ahead and hook up to each other, and that way whenever they do, it's not going to be seen from the outside. Put the softer part of the Velcro on the inside, on the right side, so it's not visible to the outside, and that should be your shirt. Now it's time for the jacket. It's pretty much the same process as the shirt, but because the jacket does have a lapel and collar, I did extend the front of the jacket a little bit more than the back. So once you've pinned your sides, go ahead and pin down the shoulders. Go ahead and pin it vertically instead of horizontally, just so you can hold it in place. And then once you pinned those shoulder pieces down, go ahead and get the front part of the jacket and try to line it up as best as you can with the back part. It is gonna look a little weird, it's gonna look a little off. That's okay, that's fine. It's supposed to be like that. That was on purpose, that's a choice. So that was a correct choice. Just try to line them up as best as you can, pin them down, and then go ahead and sew. For this part of the jacket, go ahead and take the 2 collar parts, line those up, and then sew those down as well. Over on the front with the lapel part, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing we did with the shirt, but this time we're going to actually fold it towards the outside, not the inside. The reason why is because we have a lapel that needs to be on the outside. Go ahead and try to fold the lapel underneath the part where the buttons are going to be. It's a little bit tricky, but just use your fingernails to try to get that done. Go ahead and pin those in place. Don't worry if it comes out of the pins or if it comes a little bit unraveled. That's fine. It's rolled very small, so it's going to happen. And after I sewed down the lapel and collar, I went ahead and put a piece of Velcro, the soft piece of Velcro, very important for later, down. And here I'm just kind of mapping out where I'm going to put the other piece of Velcro. Pinning it into place. I hope I didn't hurt him. I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry, sir. Please forgive me. So we're going to go ahead and map out where our buttons are going to be. This is why it's important for the Velcro that you have underneath this part, for it to be the soft side. And go ahead and put our needle through, and then the button. And just kind of follow the holes along right there. Only putting the needle through each hole just once. I'm going to get my thread and just tie a regular knot. Tie, I think about 2 or 3, maybe 4 if I'm really feeling it. But just want to make sure that the button is secure and it's not going anywhere. And get your other 2 buttons and do the same thing, map them out get a feel for where they're going to be, and then go ahead and sew them down. This is what your jacket should look like right now with the 3 buttons on one side. Go ahead and get your other button and map that out as well, and then sew those down for the other side so it's a complete double-breasted jacket. Now it's time for the pants, surprisingly the easiest part of the whole thing. Go ahead and get your front and back pieces facing each other, line them up, and sew right along that inseam right there. Do this to both pieces. Both pieces should be looking like that. You have a front and a back attached to each other. Line those pieces up against each other. Make sure the seams are lining up with each other. And once you get that lined up together, sew right along that crotch area right there. And then you have your pants that kind of look a bit like a elementary school fortune teller right there. You have your 2 front pieces that make one front piece and your 2 back pieces that make one whole back piece. Go ahead and line those 2 up, and again make sure the seams are lining up, and then sew all the way down on that side right there. I also didn't include this for whatever reason, but I did the same thing that we did with the sleeves and rolled up the bottom part of the pants so that it's a nice hem, because it's too small for us to actually go back and hem later, so go ahead and do that. And then you have your pair of pants right there, and then get your waistband. Go ahead and start putting it from the back, wrap it around, and then sew that down. Go ahead and cut out your elastic. Cut out just a little bit more than you need. It is going to be very fitted pants, so just cut out a little bit more than you need. And then overlap the elastic just like that. Take your needle and then sew that elastic into place. And then once you get the elastic sewn down, overlap, go ahead and put it underneath the waistband and tuck it in. Very important, do not sew the elastic to the fabric at any point other than where you already sewed the elastic together. Because if you do, it's gonna not be elastic, it's gonna be weird, it's not gonna stretch at all. So only sew fabric to fabric, not elastic to fabric. And then you have your final pair of pants, and that is pretty much it. You're all done, thank God. And that's pretty much it. This was fun. It was really cute. Really happy with them. Sakurai sanji. Okay, bye.